Hello and welcome to the Magic Mirror Podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Con the Trinket Mage, and with me is my co-host, 33 Elk.
Hello.
Additionally, we have our other co-host, Salubrious Snail.
Hey there.
We have a fun episode today. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite Tutor packages. So one thing that people commonly like to say about tutors is that you always grab the same thing. But I think that sort of, or I guess all of us agree that sort of ignores some of the deck building fun packages you could build into your deck with tutors. And we're going to talk about some of our favorites today. And then if we have time at the end, we'll get to some of your questions from the last podcast. Also, I guess there was like a bunch of TMNT spoilers today. Do you guys even want to say anything about that?
Oh, I haven't looked at them. I don't really care when they're up.
Well, I have one thing to say about that, and that is during TMNT pre-release weekend, we'll be in LDXP Tacoma for the Laughing Dragon Command Fest Tacoma event. They're also the sponsors of this podcast. I think I have to say that, right? That they're a sponsor. Anyway, you should click the link below if you want to join us at this event. There's going to be tons of cool stuff there. Lots of magic, lots of Riftbound, tons of Flesh and Blood, Warhammer, lots of different games, all sorts of fun stuff. Great side events. There's going to be modern 10K, 5K. I think there's a CDH 5K as well. At least there are CDH tournaments. And there's just going to be so much stuff. They got huge, jam-packed with tons of events the whole weekend. 100% y'all need to get out there. I'm going to retake that last sentence because I think my radios went off. I should have turned that off. I've walkie-talkies all throughout my house for fun, but the factory near me is sometimes on the same frequency and it makes audio noises. So I don't know if that got picked up. Yusuf, leave all this in.
Can I completely derail the podcast really quick with a conspiracy theory? You reminded me.
Sure.
Yeah. There's you reminded me because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they did the reveal stream or whatever, and they revealed some cards. And my friend Christian watched that reveal stream, and the Twitch chat was really weird for the reveal stream. I don't know if you've ever been on one of these reveal streams.
The one today?
Yeah, the one today.
I was streaming my reaction to it.
Have you ever watched one of these reveal streams before? Can you describe what the Twitch chat looks like generally?
I usually ignore Twitch chat, so no.
When I watch the Twitch chat, and it's typically very cynical. There's a lot of posting, doom posting and stuff. Now, keep in mind, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one of the most not anticipated sets of all time. It's probably the least anticipated this year. And the Twitch chat looks like this. And this doesn't feel like a Twitch chat. Keep in mind, this is not concrete or anything, but this shit's weird. Someone posted hashtag Cowabunga. Who else is eating pizza right now? Pick 2 draft is back. Ellipses. Oh my God.
I completely understand. I think where you're getting with this. And yes, I've done a couple of these in streams in general, not just the reveal streams, but streams in general. And the chat is usually fairly negative. I was looking at the Secret Lair one and it was really bad.
Yeah. I don't think Wizards of the Coast is botting their own stream, right? There's no shot. But simultaneously, something is up because Twitch chat does not look like this during a Magic the Gathering stream.
See, I don't think Wizards would do it. Do you think whoever owns the intellectual property, whoever owns the property rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would?
Nickelodeon botted the stream?
I don't know.
That's a funny theory.
Dude, hashtag Cowabunga is one of the posts on these that I'm dude, a human being would not type that. No offense if you were the human being that typed that. I'm just saying
the big red flag is pick 2 draft is back. OMG. What?
Pick 2 draft.
Also, it's also not back because we had the pick 2 draft bundle for Lorwyn. It didn't go away. They already did the pick 2 draft bundle for Lorwyn, and they announced the pick 2 draft bundle for this set too. So it's not even, it's just wrong.
Source material cards are dope. Whoever said that?
Who calls it source material cards? Not bonus sheet reprints or whatever,
Exactly. Also, this beat is banging. Sick beat right here. Humans don't talk like this. And Twitch chatters don't talk like this. I don't know. Maybe my Twitch chat's just weird.
See, I could give it the benefit of the doubt if it was some other IP with a really strong fan base. If it was some a Final Fantasy.
If this was even Marvel.
Yeah, if something with a really strong fan base had an unusual chat, I would be oh, maybe I just don't know this community.
Let me give the opposite though. Because I think maybe you're right that it's the IP, but maybe that's in its favor. Because I think TMNT, unlike Marvel is popular to hate on because it's so overdone, it's so overblown. The movies are more doo-doo now than ever, right? TMNT is not something popular to hate on because it's irrelevant.
It's nostalgia bait.
You think that the TMNT fans are just so malnourished that the moment they get a morsel, it's just like, oh my God, finally.
Are there like true dyed-in-the-wool TMNT fans, or are there just people like having like a flash of nostalgia?
No, I think it's that. And I think if the bots are not real, I think maybe it is TMNT fans.
The nostalgia is that strong.
Most people just didn't tune into the stream. There's a lot of people that maybe saw TMNT, and again, like Elk said, Lisa
like that theory.
Zero went, I'm not going to even watch the reveal stream. Also, all the cards already got spoiled. Like, who cares? You know?
Yeah, I like that theory a lot, that just like Magic people did not watch the stream, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fans did.
Oh,
and then that's what leads to hashtag Cowabunga in the Twitch chat, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, thank you for indulging my derailment. I thought this was just really funny.
Yeah, I'm sure the sponsor's going to love that this is the sponsor segment now.
No, this isn't part of the sponsor segment, is it?
I don't know. Everybody should go click the link below to get their tickets and go to the Laughing Dragon events. They're actually really cool. We like going to the events. They're good.
They are. Alec, are you still 60-40 ongoing, or have you determined?
Yeah, I'm still 60-40 ongoing.
Okay. You're going to have 60-40 right up until the event, and then you'll decide one way or the other?
Yeah, I'll flip a heavily weighted coin on one side.
Okay.
I ordered some cards, and I'm going to be scrapping, I think, every single commander deck I have and rebuilding all of them. I'm going to do a lot of testing for those new decks at the event. So if people want to, help me test out some new decks, you should swing by.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get on to the main topic?
Let's do it.
All right. So we've all come to the podcast with two tutors we want to talk about as, little packages and value engines for lists that maybe you could try or get inspiration from. I think I'll open with mine as the first example. I want to talk about one of my favorite cards, and that is Inventor's Fair. So Inventor's Fair is a land, and it has Metalcraft without the keyword. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, gain 1 life. But it can tap for a colorless, and you can pay 4 generic mana, tap, sacrifice Inventor's Fair, search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Activate only if you control 3 or more artifacts. So one of my favorite things to grab with this specifically is with Inventor's Fair, you can grab Crucible of Worlds, which Crucible of Worlds is an artifact that lets you play lands from your graveyard, letting you replay the Inventor's Fair. And then now we've built the ability, if you spend your land drop and 4 mana every turn, you can search up an artifact every turn from there. And then if you want to get really fun with it, you can do all sorts of other shenanigans. You can use Inventor's Fair to grab Expedition Map, which lets you get Urza's Saga, and then Urza's Saga making constructs plus Crucible World lets you grind out for value and get constructs over multiple turns. Or you can do any other artifact-related shenanigans you want from there. You can assemble the stations if you want, or you can just search up whatever neat artifact you need at a specific time. This is one of my favorite cards of all time. Inventor's Fair is so cool. And the life gain's just like a little cherry on top.
Yeah, Inventor's Fair is sweet. There's just so much utility packed in there. It feels like it should be a tap land, but it isn't.
I know.
Very sweet card.
It definitely is very mana intensive, but great news about artifact decks.
You can tutor up things that make mana.
True. Well, also it's on a land, so like that's part of the cost of everything. And the fact that it's on an untapped land is big.
Yeah, it's really easy to fit in your deck.
Yeah, definitely very high floor.
Sadly, the card really needs a reprint. It's been in a few secret layers and was in the bonus sheet for Edge of Eternities, but hasn't dropped below that $10 mark.
Yeah, it just hasn't gotten a wider reprint, which it needs. It's a fun card. Surely we have enough artifact themed sets that it would make sense. Come on.
I mean, it could just be in a precon. Like there's lots of artifacty precons that could use it.
Yeah, EOE precon.
It could have been in the Edge of Eternity's precon, yeah.
It would have been a little weird because it is a 3-color deck, right? But
yeah, well, I think that's also the thing with the Ether Drift precon. That one was also 3-color, the artifacts one. So it's kind of tricky. Am I thinking of the right one?
Yeah.
That's the Teamer one, right?
I think so. The energy one, yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on, I guess I'll talk about my first tutor here.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about Step Through. Step Through is vile and evil, and I put it in a lot of people's decks when they come to my stream, especially when they're built around really cheap instant or sorceries. And the reason why is Step Through is a very versatile card. Step Through, of course, being 3 blue for a sorcery. Return 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. That never happens. What you use it for is wizard cycling too. So you can pay 2 mana for the sorcery, cycle it to get any wizard out of your deck and into your hand. What do you get with that? Well, if you're turbo greedy, you get Archaeomancer, and then you play Archaeomancer, and then you put it back in your hand, and then you wizard cycle it again, and then you get Spellseeker, and then that Spellseeker gets Ephemerate, And then Ephemerate can ephemerate the Archaeomancer and Spellseeker alternatively, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And you can keep getting it back from your graveyard or getting Step Through back from your graveyard or tutoring more instant or sorceries with mana value 2 or less. So like a Bant deck, think about a Bant deck with aggressive Biomancy or Doppelgang, right? This is such a good toolbox to be able to go grab those things that just explode the game instantaneously while also getting interaction, right? You can get things like
Dualcaster Mage.
Not Dualcaster Mage. Well, you can, because it is a wizard. You're right.
Yeah.
But you can get things like counter magic. You can get things like a big one too is it would be like Cyclonic Rift is really broken, of course, because Spellseeker. But what I really appreciate about this whole combo is you can do some like really stupid things too. Like you can Spellseeker off of the Step Through to get Brainstorm. Well, you get Ephemerate, then you get Brainstorm, then you get Bonfire of the Damned. And you can set up Bonfire of the Damned with the Brainstorm that you tutored before. Like you can do all sorts of funny jank stuff, traverse the Uvenwald if you're a green-blue deck, right? There's just so many things that you can go and grab this to turn any deck into a consistent monster machine. And it's really budget too. Like even if you can't afford the $15 Spellseeker, you can get a Micromancer instead, which is literally pennies. It's 1 mana more and it only gets 1 drops. But there's a lot of really good 1 drops you can tutor for. Like I said, traverse the Evenwald, turn it into any creature tutor, or you can still do the Bonfire of the Damned loop kind of thing. Like there's a lot of options here. Step Through is just infinitely versatile because of Archaeomancer and Spellseeker. It's really broken.
Yeah, and with Micromancer, you can get Ephemerate too, so it helps you set that all up.
Mm-hmm.
The rate on Step Through is just so good as well. Like 2 mana instant speed for a tutor. You know, the type is a little limiting, but that gives you so many options for like grabbing an Urtai Resurrected or grabbing a Nimble Obstructionist or something else to shut down an opposing play without even spending that horribly much mana.
Yeah, and you're still like making bodies on the board that block just as well. Like Micromancer is a 3/3, right? Like this is not like peanuts, right?
Yeah, it's like at least a pistachio.
You're able to block once with your Archaeomancer before you ephemerate it, right? Because you can block and then ephemerate and then get through your value and still cancel an attacker. So it's still like relatively defensive. You're spending a lot of mana, but it's broken up and it makes bodies that can block for you. Like there's a lot going for this, and it's made a lot of decks hum a lot more hard than they would have before adding the Wizards package.
Except for our like most talked about card. We've mentioned it a lot of times, and we also talked about it in some other video.
Yeah, we talked about the Wizard cycling mechanic
that you don't,
and it was on a tier list, and you hated it.
Yeah, and I wanted it low on the tier list because you never cast the front half.
It's a card that I put in a lot of decks because a lot of decks just care about cheap instant or sorceries.
Yeah. Well, there's also just a lot of cheap instant or sorceries that are good.
All right, we're ready for mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Alex, you want to do yours?
Khan, you presented Inventor's Fair, and I have a card that is far better than Inventor's Fair.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Axeguard Armory. This is a red-white land. It taps for white. The activated ability on it is red-white, and you pay 4 mana, sacrifice it to search your library for an aura card and or an equipment card, reveal them, put them into your hand, and then shuffle. So I think the best way to go about this is you have like 1, maybe 2 of one type you really want, usually equipments. Like you've got, obviously you're already in the colors for Sunforger, so that's a pretty common place to go with this. But, you might just have something else like a Skull Clamp or something. But then with the auras, you can kind of get a whole bunch that serve different tasks. No, it doesn't need to be like a whole bunch. This is a commander deck. You can have like, 3 or 4 that do various things. But like something that turns an opponent's commander into like a little guy, something that is like an instant speed buff or a protection thing. There's just like a whole lot of flexibility in the fact that this grabs 2 cards. Also, it's just very nice as like an instant speed play, especially if you're already in a Sunforger deck that's playing a whole lot of instants of sorceries at instant speed. So this card is sweet, and I like that it is specific enough. I like that it has a little bit of extra specificity. Finding any artifact or any enchantment is a little too generic for my taste.
I like this. This is neat. The and or is kind of crazy. I know it's 4 mana after sack a land, but like that's the same mana cost as Inventor's Fair. You get 2 cards. That's nuts. I'm trying to think of if there's a way that I can find an aura or equipment that will let me get Crucible of Worlds so I can loop this.
There's gotta be something, maybe.
Is there an aura that gets the tutors for an artifact? I can't think of one. But this is cool. I do like this.
Yeah. Perfect excuse to play Weathered Wayfarer, by the way. It's so nice, that card.
Yeah,
because you go down on lands, You
go down on lands, and then also you go like Weathered Wayfarer for any land if you're behind. You get the Axeguard Armory, and then you sack the Axeguard Armory. Now you're even farther behind on lands, so you get to just use the Weathered Wayfarer more. Weathered Wayfarer, another very good tutor card, of course.
I think I need to get myself a copy of this because I want to build Lorehold, the historian, specifically because Elk said it was going to be bad. And this will be a really great addition to my like Sunforger.
Bad's a strong word. I said it was gonna be boring.
This will be a really cool, fun, exciting addition to my not boring deck when I had like a Sunforger package or something. I need to figure out if I can work enough auras into the deck.
I think that deck's already playing at instant speed, so it should work.
It's going to be draw go control already.
Aren't there like some decent white protection auras? Like, not decent, like okay.
Yeah, Flickering Ward is not bad.
Yeah, you have the one that you can cast with Flash, Timely Ward or whatever.
Yeah. Also, Darksteel Mutation is not bad to just tutor out.
Yeah, no, it's not terrible. Probably gets better with a third color because then you get access to all the blue cards. I guess those. I don't know if there are any that are like red, white, or blue, white that can be grabbed to Sunforger.
There's something to brew here though. This is the part of what we're talking about. Like this is the fun deck building aspect of cards like this. Is you start thinking of like these like threads and continuations of okay, am I all right in Boros? Obviously, I can get Sunforger, but could I get like a blue aura that works with Sunforger to tutor up this other thing to like draw cards or do this, right? You start like
no, guys, come on, guys. Tutors are brain dead, and they're just I win buttons, and they make the format worse and less textured. Come on, guys, quit having fun.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, sorry, Eerie Procession is such an I win button.
Speaking of Trick of Age, it's your go for tutor, I think, right?
Yes, I'm not picking Eerie Procession. That card is actually quite bad.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
My second pick is going to be a classic, which is Imperial Recruiter, because I have a specific line for this that I really enjoy. So Imperial Recruiter is, a classic Magic card. It came out in Portal 3 Kingdoms, 2 and a red for a 1/1 human advisor. When it enters, search your library for a creature card with power 2 or less, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. This card is sweet. I think it's a very fun card and lets you get a lot of things. Specifically, one thing that you can get with it is Jax the Troublemaker is red and 3 for a 2/3 human warrior. It has Blitz for red and 1, but also you can pay 1 red, tap, discard a card, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, and when this token dies, draw a card. Sacrifice that at the beginning of the next end step. I really love using Imperial Recruiter to grab Jaxus. You can also get Kiki Jiki if you want, but just to make more copies of the Imperial Recruiter and then continue to find other 2-drops or 2-power creatures that are, needed. And there's tons of fun 2-power creatures you can use. I played a lot of these in my old Grenzo list, and you can play one of my favorites is El Terrell Survivors, which is 3 and a red for an 0/4 Tiefling Peasant. It has Trample and Myriad, and when it attacks, it gets +X+O, X the number of lands defending player controls.
Ooh, yeah, that one's good.
That one's pretty sweet. I also love getting cards like Life of the Party.
You can also get like Devilish Valet.
You can get Devilish Valet, you can get Life of the Party, you can get Goro, Disciple of Ryusei, as a haste enabler if you need that. Like there's utility you can get damage. There's so much fun, like silly things you can get with power 2 or less. I love this specific combination. It's really fun.
Okay, by the way, replace everything Trinket just said with, instead of Imperial Recruiter, you can do Recruiter the Guard and replace Jaxus with Felia or Soul Herder.
Correct.
And then you can do this stuff in like white /Azorius as well. Like it's a very fun play pattern.
Yeah, you can do exactly the same in those color combinations.
I feel like a Just Guy is just what if your creatures did more creature.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, basically.
Black can do it a little bit too, but all 3 of those have ample forms of making your creatures enter more.
Yeah, and I like Jax because you loot a lot with it too. Every time you do it, it lets you like just discard old lands to make a copy, tutor something, draw a card when the copy leaves. It's pretty sweet.
All right, moving on, I got White of the Reliquary as my second tutor option. I'm a big fan of this card, especially in like tokeny kind of decks. So if you're like a green black X or Golgari tokeny kind of decks, Taval really likes White of the Reliquary. So it's black green 2/2 vigilance, +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. But you can also tap, sack another creature to search your library for a land card, put on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So if you have Springheart, Nantuko, Scoot Swarm, Blood Gas, this is basically just free to activate every turn. Taval, it's free to activate every turn. And getting any land directly into play is just broken, like utterly so. So you have options, of course, like Bajuka Bog as interaction. You can go Beseiju into a bounce land next turn to bounce the Beseiju back to your hand to use it as enchantment removal. Some of my favorite things to do with White of the Reliquary, though, because it fits so well in these go wide token decks with Scoot Swarm and stuff like this, is you can turn these go wide boards into an evasive threat with Westvale Abbey. you can get Field of the Dead, right? And then Field of the Dead can turn White of the Reliquary into an infinite, looting option. Talongates of Madara has more interaction. There's just so many goddamn lands nowadays that just do something broken on ETB that it's like, I think every green-black deck that can have some amount of token generation should be running White in all those utility lands.
It's also just like a decently chunky creature. Like, it's not hard to be swinging with like 6 with it pretty early.
Huge blocker with vigilance.
Yeah. The fact that you can attack and then also still utilize the tap ability is quite nice.
Yeah. I think this card is like better than crop rotation in some decks.
In casual EDH, I feel like it is a lot of times better than crop rotation because it's just repeatable. It can sit around. It's actually a body. Depending on the speed of the play group you're in, it can be much more relevant.
It feels like it should be a 3-mana card, but it's 2 mana because it's the Modern Horizon special.
I know, because Knight of the Reliquary is 3 mana, and they really just wanted to juice it a little harder.
It's the same way we got Psychic Frog at 2 mana.
Yeah, exactly. All these things that should probably be 3 mana.
Once White gets big enough and like fattened up enough by your graveyard, by the way, you can tutor up Sus or Secundi and the next turn crew it with the White and then draw like a billion cards.
That's true. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's just so many options for this thing. It's literally infinite like value.
Yeah, a crazy card. I wish I could play it in my Gruul decks, but alas.
You just gotta splash, make them Jund decks.
I don't want to splash. I don't want to splash for my Mina and Den list.
What red-green commander is so cool that you can't pack in a third color?
Mina and Den. Because it's
Borborygmos Enraged.
The Mina and Den copy that I have is like the first card I bought at a Grand Prix. I got in Grand Prix DC for $1 out of the bargain bin. It's like a Japanese foil. And I like putting it in my command zone because I have sentimental value for the card. Also, the mana base is literally perfect for that. Like, I mean, actually perfect. It is the most, like, other than foil fetch lands, which I think is not really worth it because they are on the field for 0.1 second. But beyond foiling out the fetch lands, the mana base is like super like perfect. And if I add a third color, I would have to drop so much cash to make it continue to be perfect. I don't want to bother with that.
I say, this is understandable.
I like my perfect mana base. One day I'll foil out the fetches, I guess.
Someday.
It's always the bottom of my tier list for foils,
Do you have a substantial list of things you want to foil out?
Well, I would like to foil out the whole list eventually, but whenever I'm getting something for a deck, like if I have a deck that I really like, I'm like, oh, I want to get a couple of foils for the list. The fetch lands are going to always be the lowest thing because they don't actually sit on the battlefield. They're just in my graveyard most of the time. So like what's the point of getting a cool looking fetch land if you're like sometimes I don't even put it on the field. I'm just like, crack this fetch, I just throw it in the bin, right? And then just save time. Why even put it on the battlefield? So it just doesn't feel worth like getting like an expedition fetch land.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you not foil out instants and sorceries?
I would, but here's the thing: is like that's a little different because when I cast Eternal Dominion, it gets passed around the whole table because everybody has to read what the hell Epic does.
Yeah.
Sure. So like it's on the stack, people have to look at it. It's different. It doesn't literally just like sit in my bin in the same way. But I do get what you're saying. I don't know. I guess I haven't thought about that. I'm not like, I guess the first thing I usually do to make a deck fancier is like the permanents, now that I think about it.
I mean, they're the ones who stick around. They are permanent.
Yeah, the things that actually like are, they stick on the battlefield. So it's like, if I have a cool one, I might as well, put it there.
And it's your deck, so you only have like 3 of those anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right. If it's a permanent, it's probably my commander and like the 2 other relevant ones for the whole deck.
Yeah, not too hard at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, continuing on our lands subject, I want to talk about Cosmium Confluence. This is a 5-mana sorcery that says choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Search your library for a cave card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. The bad second mode, put 3 +1/+1 counters on a cave you control. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land.
Huge.
Although, okay, my friend was playing my Rada deck and he finished somebody off with a Cosmium Confluence, so I guess I can't say it's terrible anymore. Anyway, third mode.
But you can put 9 counters on something, right?
Yeah. Third mode, destroy target enchantment. Okay.
You got me so good with this once.
Oh, did I?
You exiled my yard with something. What was that?
Yeah. Okay. So there are a bunch of caves that do cool things. That's part of my pitch here. There's Pit of Offerings, which exiles up to 3 target cards from graveyards.
Yeah.
There's a land take card, which is Volatile Fault. That's also a cave. There's Urza's Cave, which finds other lands. There is a handful of other caves that are a little bit worse. One of them copies like a land in a graveyard. Some of the current caves are pretty bad. But there are also some really cool ones, really good ones. One from Modern Horizons 3 Commander is Sunken Palace, which lets you copy a spell by exiling 7 cards from your graveyard and tapping it and paying 2 mana. That's a pretty sweet cave. So I think we're just gonna keep seeing a gradual trickle of caves, and this card is just gonna keep getting better and better. This Cosmium Confluence. So I'm telling you, this one's one to watch.
I mean, it already gets Urza's Cave, right? Which gets every land you could possibly want.
Exactly. And destroying enchantments is good.
Mm-hmm.
I had many people telling me so after my Ristic study video. So there you go.
Yeah, I lost a game to Pit of Offerings. I was gonna like reanimate something. I don't remember exactly what it was, and then you Pit of Offeringed me off of this stupid card and exiled my yard, and then I was like, oh, that was my out.
This is tragic.
And I lost.
Yeah, it is weirdly effective and flexible. It's also just 5 mana for 3 lands is just a pretty solid rate. Like, not amazing, but the fact that you get extra flexibility with it and can find some cool lands with good abilities on them, it's pretty solid.
But maybe one day, is this a MTG Finance spec? All right, get your foil Forgotten Monuments now. Right, that's a cave that says, tap for colorless, but also other caves you control have tap, pay 1 life, add a mana of any color. Turns all your caves into mana confluences. Think about that. If we get the power crept Modern Horizons 10 caves, that card's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely a one finance move you can make. Buy 1,200 copies of this card, and I promise you, it's gonna rocket. It's gonna go to the moon.
If there's a buyout of Forgotten Monument because of this podcast, this is gonna be so funny. Elk, would you like to say anything about caves?
I think Urza's Cave is a good cave. There's also Echoing Deeps. That's a good cave. Sunken Citadel, that's like the 3rd good cave I can think about before I'm like out of good caves.
Pit of Offerings is fine.
Pit of Offerings is an okay card if you do not have access to black. That is the asterisk. If you do not have access to black, Pit of Offerings is pretty good.
You can hit 2 cards in one opponent's graveyard and 1 in another. Come on, I'm telling you.
True, that is upgrade over Bojuka Bog.
But you could also just like completely headshot and neuter one player, which is like oftentimes the best. Like Bojuka Bog is such a beating.
Yeah, you don't need to. And also it's more tactful to point and be like, oh, that card. Bog is a blunt instrument.
You are going to get Rally the Ancestor or like Living Ended, and you're like, God, I wish I had Bojuka Bog. that's all I think about.
Bog is unwieldy. Bog is clunky. It's a good card.
Sometimes you need a sledgehammer instead of a scalpel, And
No,
it's oftentimes a commander you need a sledgehammer.
Some graveyard playing folks do require a sledgehammering of Bojuka Bog.
I do like that Cosmic Confluence can color fix as well, because there are the caves for each color that Discover for. So you can, if you're in a 5-color deck, you can grab 3 different cave colors to fix your colors. Or the Forgotten Monument, I suppose, and 2 caves.
Yeah. I mean, I play it in a deck where my colors rarely ever matter. But
it's just Gruul, right?
It's Gruul, find a million lands. But I'm curious how often it's actually helpful.
All right, moving on to the Beseech the Mirror section. This is where you beseech us for answers. All you have to do is put mirror in your comment here on YouTube or on Spotify, which you can listen to the podcast on Spotify if you want. And we will get to your questions maybe on the podcast. Mirror, I sack Salubrious Snail to ask.
Don't do that.
What is everyone's thoughts on the maximum deck size restriction of Commander? I personally, this is a quote from the user, this is not me. I personally wish they would get rid of it, not only for the parity with other formats, but for the sake of Yorion. What do y'all think about that? Because other formats have a minimum, but no maximum. The maximum is what you can reasonably shuffle without having a judge called on you for slow play.
I agree. Free Battle of Wits, free Yorion. That's the thought process I have anyway. Mill's already impossible in Commander. They're not really losing much by allowing more cards in their library. And besides, most Mill decks are combo Mill anyway with like, Bruvac or whatever. Is that really Mill? Like, come on, dude. But also like, that's how most of them look. And the number of times you're going to run into like a 300 card Battle of Wits deck, you just go like, I think I'm not going to play Mill into you. You look like you counter me very hard. And then you swap decks. It's really not a big deal. I literally can't think of anything we lose by allowing it.
Time when you're playing your bracket 2 game. You're watching the Battle of Wits player spend 12 minutes shuffling.
That's beautiful, I think. And that should be allowed. Where else are you going to play Battle of Wits? Fucking Modern? You're going to get killed by Boros Energy on turn 3.
You can't play things outside of Modern Horizons block constructed, so that's irrelevant.
Twin's back apparently. I've been hearing, so I've heard.
Oh yeah,
Twin is back. There's like a Jeskai Wizards build of Twin going around with the stupid new Merfolk that's a wizard that untaps everything. So it turns on your Flame of Anor. Anyway, long story
Sure.
short, I'm for it. You guys sound a little bit more dubious.
I am dubious. The games are going to be awful. It's just going to be, someone's going to cast Rampant Growth and it's going to take like 3 more minutes than it should. And then also, people already will play like 30 lands in their 100 card deck. They're going to play 32 in their 200 card deck and then just, oh my goodness, so many non-games are going to happen. It's going to be awful.
No, that's really funny though.
I don't know. I feel like Yorion just isn't cool enough to be worth it. Like,
You could have already put Yorion in the command zone. Like, who cares?
the problem with commanders, we're not doing enough flickering yet. We gotta increase the flickering amount.
I agree.
Creatures are not entering the
I need
battlefield
to-
enough times currently. That is the main problem with this format.
Right. Because Brago, really needs that Yorion companion to like properly function.
He does. You guys are saying all this in jest. I'm just nodding my head like, yep, you're cooking.
All right, so I think the answer to this is going to be no, obviously, but I think it's interesting maybe to talk about a little bit. Mirror, do you think cards that can permanently steal or disable commanders should be game changers? Like the enchantment that turns a creature into a forest. It feels like permanently losing access to your commander is a bracket 3+ kind of thing.
I feel like this is already kind of caught in like the bracket document. It does say quite clearly that like interactions typically lighter. Am I mistaken in remembering that from the bracket document?
That is a trait of bracket 2 that's been laid out. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, it's like, I feel like you should have like some amount of enchantment removal in your deck. Even like black has like really good access to enchantment removal now in the form of Withering Torment and like feed the swarm a little bit.
You say really good access. It has like 3 cards in your whole library. That's not really good access.
Three
have,
cards is kind of all you need to have hope for the rest of the game. Like surely your 99 is still doing things,
You
right?
have Nivenroll's Disc, you have Oblivion Stone, you have...
It's not 2012
All those
anymore.
does.
Nobody plays Oblivion Stone.
Yeah, those are so slow.
Oblivion, if you're in mono black, you should be playing Oblivion Stone because destroying all artifacts and enchantments and sending your creatures to the bin is really good.
Card is slow.
Very slow card.
It's 8 mana across 2 turns. You spend 3 here and then 5 later, and you do your thing.
Anyway, either way, I'm saying you just need a few cards in your library to give you some hope to break out of it. You don't actually need to draw them. So long as you're like, I can get my commander back maybe someday, then that's enough hope to keep you going. And then surely your 99, hopefully, is well built enough to be doing things without your commander anyway, right? Like that might not be true for like a Voltron deck per se, but like generally speaking, most decks are built to like do things without its commander in play sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, even at bracket 2, I think you still need to respect some deck building fundamentals. And I think one of those is just that your deck needs to be able to do something without the commander around, or you need to be prepared to have protection and interaction for it. And yeah, I ultimately I think disabling somebody's commander with a, turn something into a forest card or like turn into an elk or whatever.
Oh, what?
Like, that does feel kind of bad, but it's not that hardcore of gaming. You can still do a lot of things with your commander as a forest.
I agree. I think you two are both spot on with the like deck building fundamentals and like your 99 should still do something. I think the bracket system is great as a way to try and regulate the speed and power of games. I would hesitate on making bracket 2 the like kiddie pool. Bracket 2 isn't, oh, you're not allowed to remove my commander. Bracket 2 isn't, you're not allowed to prevent me from doing things. It's just the games are slower. You got, win cons are more telegraphed, so on and so forth. But it's not like, like you should still probably bring some enchantment removal to bracket 2 because somebody might Darksteel Mutation a creature that you care about. And like if your deck is very poorly constructed where it completely cannot function without the commander, and you have also not packed any protection for the commander, this should be a learning experience for you rather than a failure of the bracket system.
It's also something you can cover in Rule 0 to some extent, because I think different people are going to be coming into bracket 2 with different expectations of the game, and turning somebody's commander into a dude is a very kind of classic commander move to do. So I don't know. It's like not really out.
I guess.
Disabling somebody's commander is definitely not a thing that is outside of the scope of the commander format. That is in fact a very classic thing in the commander format, even as rule changes have tried to make it less of a thing by, letting you bop your commander back to the zone rather than having it shuffled in.
Yeah. Mirror, mirror, I cheat on my Rule Zero rule lawyers to ask, is Disciples of Callias Nin mass land destruction?
Isn't that the one that like when it leaves the lands come back or it like phases them out or something?
Yeah, so it's 4 and a white for a human wizard. You could wizard cycling for this. We should have mentioned it. When this creature enters, starting with you, each player chooses up to 5 permanents they control. All permanents other than this creature that weren't chosen this way phase out. Permanents can't phase in. So if you choose 5 lands, you lose all other lands and all other things. If you choose 5 creatures, you're going to lose your lands.
Yeah, but you just kill this thing and then they all come back, and there's no real way to like cheat the phasing back in part. This isn't like a Fiend Hunter where like you can sack it in response to the ETB and then it exiles everything, or like a Parallax Wave or Parallax Tide, right?
Correct.
Like there's no way to cheat this. If you kill it, you get everything back, then it's fine. Like this doesn't permanently remove lands from the game. Unlike a Saga, for instance, the Fall of Thran, that would be MLD if you could, like, your deck is built around cheating it, right?
Yeah. Well, and also 5 is just like, that's not a very small number. I think, what is it? Is it Razia's Purification that sacrifice all but 3? 3 is a pretty low number. 5 gives you a lot more flexibility. You can have, you keep a couple non-land permanents, keep 3 lands, or keep more lands, etc. So I think that definitely gives you more options. And yeah, it's not permanent. There's no way to make it permanent as far as I know.
Yeah, I can't think of another way to, unless you're like duplicating this or something, or yeah, I can't think of a way to make it permanent. So yeah, I don't know. This one's interesting. I feel like this also, doesn't count as MLD in the same way, just because, you can look at your hand, you can look at your field, and you can make a decision and be like, okay, well, I can just keep my creatures, attack them. They'll be forced to block, and then I get my stuff back. Or you're like, I keep my lands, I'll remove it, and then move on with my life.
If Planetary Annihilation is an MLD, this is an MLD. That's the way I think I would phrase it.
Yeah, I suppose. I feel like Planetary Annihilation literally can never destroy all of your lands, whereas this, in theory, can phase them all out if you choose 5 non-land permanents.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's your fault.
Oh, that reminds me. I had somebody at my local game store ask if it was okay to run what is the one where it's each player sacrifices all their lands and they pay 1 for each of them. 1 life.
Oh.
Because I guess technically it's considered mass land destruction in some form, because the card does say like destroy all lands as its first line of text, but in reality it's like basically just deal 1 damage to each player for each land they control.
It's cleansing, right? White for a sorcery. For each land, destroy that land unless any player pays 1 life.
All land is destroyed. So
I can pay the life to save your lands.
Ooh, that's true. This
is a really funny card.
It is.
Man, the Dark had some goofy cards in there.
The Dark was a pretty magical set.
I guess this is one of the cards that like I maybe technically counts as an MLD card, but like if you play this in bracket 3 or even bracket 2,
you literally have to take control of somebody's turn and then like flash this out. Like
to make an actual mass land destruction. That's really funny.
Realistic.
That's really if you Mindslaver me and then go Quicken Cleansing on my turn and have me choose not to pay life, and nobody else chooses to pay the life for me, and I lose all my lands, like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna have
I think we're safe to unleash this onto bracket 3. I think they can handle it.
I think bracket 2 can handle this. You just go, oh, okay, I'll pay 6 life, and then you keep your lands, and then it's a burn spell.
But just think about the Mindslaver gameplay. That's brutal.
What if it's a life loss political too? I cast it, and then I say I'll pay all the life for everyone, and then I swap life totals.
That's powerful.
Leave all your best cleansing combos in the comments below, and we'll feature it on probably not any of the podcasts ever.
But anyway, Disciple of Callias Nin.
Oh, okay. This is a fun one. Oh, I never read the usernames for the other ones. Whoops. Anyway, this is Skelett Cool G asks, Mirror Mirror, I cast Pact of Negation to counter a turn 1 Soul Ring in my bracket 2 game to ask, what is your favorite card from Lorwyn Eclipsed? Now that the set's been out for a little bit, how are we feeling? Anything fun that's exciting?
Non-precon Ashling. 2 mana Ashling is my favorite card from the new set.
Is that the flippy
Ashling
one?
Rekindled. Yeah, the flippy one.
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, 1 in a red. She enters, you rummage. You discard a card, you draw a card. Next turn, you pay a blue. She flips. Whenever this creature transforms into Ashling, and at the beginning of your first main phase, you had 2 mana of any one color. You spend this mana only to cast spells mana value 4 or greater. So it is effectively a signet if you play it on turn 2, right? Because you go land, and then you go land, Ashling. Next turn, you go flip Ashling, land, and then you have 4 mana. You can cast a 4-drop, just like a signet would. However, unlike a signet, you can choose not to reflip Ashling next turn. And when that happens, what you do instead is you then go, okay, great, I'll make 2 mana that I can spend on 4 cost or greater. Land drop, you now have 7 mana, I believe, right? Because it would be 2, and the next turn's 3. This turn's 4. It'd be 6 mana. So you can drop a 6-drop on turn 4 with the help of Ashling, whereas a signet would have only let you play a 5-drop. So in some decks, it's better than a signet. Like if you're like a big spell deck like Cormella is, or like a rampy teamer deck.
Yeah, if this is in your command zone and you build your curve kind of specifically, you can do some sweet stuff. I like this.
Ashling's a lot of fun, yeah.
I really like Eridu. Is it Eridu? Eridu? I don't know how to pronounce it. Carrier of Dawn / Isulu, Carrier of Twilight, the god flippy thing. I was brewing around with this for a little bit. So it's a 5/5 elemental god on the front half. It has flying and has lifelink. Creature spells you cast have convoke. And then at the beginning of your first main phase, you can pay a black. If you do, you flip it around. And the other side has also flying and lifelink. It's a 5/5. But then each other non-token creature you control has persist. And then you can pay a white to flip it back around. So I was actually brewing around with a stacks version of this list because it gives all of your creatures convoke. So if you play some creatures and then blow up all the lands, you have this commander out, you can just continue to cast your creatures throughout the turn because you don't actually need lands to do that. Everything has convoke. And then you can flip it around a little bit later so they get protection because they all have persist, and then you can do something with that. I think it's kind of a neat card. It lets you do some goofy things. Even outside of a stacks build, it's just kind of a cool card. It lets you cast creatures, it protects it on the backside. I really like it.
Reasonable. Looking at the gallery has reminded me that I kind of want to build Kirill, Attentive First Year. It just looks like a fun ability. It's a tap 2 untapped creatures you control, copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy, activate only once each turn. That seems kind of fun in red white.
Oh man, this is a sweet commander. This is actually a super sweet commander. I wanna do something with this as well. I haven't really looked into what to do with them, but there's a lot of cool triggers you can do. Like just on EDA track, I see people with like Arabella. You can double ETBs.
Nice. I can copy my attack triggers with 1 less color than what's his futz would let me do it with Ishin.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, it lets you copy any trigger, so you can double up your Chamil the Inner Sun end step trigger and discover 5 twice, that's pretty cool, right?
For me, the broken thing is like you play Pyrogoyf, you deal someone 10 damage, then you wait for their turn, you ephemerate your Pyrogoyf, you tap 2 creatures again. Because it's only once per turn, but it doesn't say once per your turn.
Yeah.
So you can just like keep flickering stuff on opponents' turns to like do shit like that, which is like just vile.
I like that about it. I like that it requires you to play like a kind of reactive instant speed deck.
Oh, I see Reconnaissance as a good, that works with that deck. That's pretty sweet. I guess Saga triggers you can double up. There's a couple of things. I feel like there's got to be some Saga you can like use Power Conduit to remove a counter from repeatedly, and then repeatedly double whatever that trigger is that it would get every turn. Yeah, I don't know. This is a card that makes me like want to brew. Like the more I look at it, the more I'm like, ooh, what can I actually do with this?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll show up to LDXP Tacoma with a new control deck to make people hate their lives.
Oh man, you bring that Boros control deck. I'm proxying up Lorehold, so I'll be playing him.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll both just be
Boros control gameplay.
Oh, wait. Can he copy the its triggered ability, right? Oh, so you can't copy the activated ability of Sunforger.
Yeah.
Dang. I don't know. I gotta think about it. In the comments below, unironically, in the comments below, if there's something cool to copy with this card, let me know. I would love to see it.